Welcome to the Daily Boogie.
Let's kick it off with the way we like to with this.
Now you face the Shredder.
This is where we take an article and put it through the shredder. Ladies and gentlemen, my old favourite, Vox.com. 11 House Republicans call for prosecutions of Clinton, Comey, Lynch and others. And get this, the authoritarianism is coming from inside the White House. Which is a delicious little play on words there, because it's a bit like, you know, the call is coming from inside the house. The killers are in the house, ladies and gentlemen, inside the White House. 11 House Republicans, Ron DeSantis, Andy Biggs, Dave Bratt, Jeff Duncan, Matt Gaetz, Paul Gosar, Andy Harris, Jody Heiss, Todd Rokita, Claudia Tenney and Ted Yoho have signed a joint letter to Attorney General Jeff Sessions calling for the criminal prosecution of Hillary Clinton, oh no, digging up the past again, and a variety of other Obama administration appointees, career FBI officials, and even Trump appointee Dana Boente, who is currently the FBI's general counsel. The lead of the letter states that the authors are, quote, especially mindful of dissimilar degrees of zealousness that has marked the investigations into former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and the presidential campaign of Donald Trump, respectively. Clinton, of course, was extensively investigated by multiple committees of the US Congress, as well as the FBI. You see, this is how, in Voxland, you say debunked. That's the Vox translation there. Quote, Clinton was, of course, extensively investigated by multiple committees of the US Congress, as well as the FBI. AKA, this has been debunked. Of course, we know that Hillary Clinton was declared innocent before she was even interviewed by the FBI. Before she was even interviewed, Lay Down Sally says, you could say crap on me and it would still sound amazing. Why, thank you, Sally. Of course, I wouldn't dream of doing such a thing. Extensively investigated by the FBI now means don't even interview her. She's innocent. No need to talk about her. I mean, that the smashing of the phones and the laptops and the tablets with the hammers, that's nothing to see here. We've conducted an extensive investigation. She's sweet. She's in the clear. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy went so far as to concede at one point that the only actual purpose of the Clinton investigations was to hurt her poll numbers. And though the FBI's investigations exonerated Clinton, again before she was interviewed, that's suspiciously absent from the article, then FBI Director James Comey offered, against DOJ guidelines, multiple instances of public commentary on her conduct that ultimately hurt her campaign. Of course, no source on that. That's a line you've heard frequently, that how can James Comey be on the side of Hillary Clinton? I mean, that letter 10 days before the election, that cost her the election. Well, maybe it's a factor when you add in the Russian bots, the sexism, the misogyny, the racism, of course. I don't know why, it just is. It's also a factor. When you add in all of those factors, then yes, of course, the letter from James Comey cost her the election. Never sourced, never any proof of that. Not even a snap poll, not even going out on the street with a microphone to liberal areas that switch their vote to Donald Trump and asking them, did you change your vote because of the James Comey letter? I've never seen any of that. That's just out there. That's assumed fact now. And of course, if you don't believe it, you would be a racist, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that's also a fact. Here is the paragraph. This is the big cheese right here. Listen to the language in this. Nonetheless, House Republicans suggest that she should be prosecuted on the theory that because the Steele dossier was paid for in part by a lawyer who worked for the Clinton campaign, the campaign was, quote, disguising payments to Fusion GPS in a way that violated federal campaign finance law. Is everybody picking up on that? Look, House Republicans suggest. Whenever somebody puts suggest into a theory, I mean, I do it when I write as well. When I'm writing stuff and I want to project a theory onto an opposing side, I will say, you know, people over there are suggesting. And then I attack the suggestion that I'm making in the article that it just has to be close enough to the truth. But of course, I can manipulate it any way I want and make it like a really easy argument to tear down. That's just a writing trick. House Republicans suggest that she should be prosecuted on the theory. Yes, Jennifer Briggs wins 1,000 internets. It's just a theory. The theory that the Steele dossier was paid for in part by a lawyer who worked for the Clinton campaign. No. That's not a theory. A theory is an unverified outcome that you predict on certain, an unverified conclusion that you predict will come to fruition based on a certain logical chain of events taking place. That's a theory. It's not a theory that the Steele dossier was paid for in part by a lawyer who worked for the Hillary campaign. That's past tense. That already happened. We don't have to theorize about it. We don't have to, imagine ourselves in a world where this theory might happen, might come to pass. We're not pontificating here. This is history. This is in the history books. It's fact. It happened. But of course, we're just suggesting that it's a theory here on Vox. See how that works? But the issue here, to be clear, is not a particular zeal for campaign finance law. It's a broad request that the full force of the US government be brought to bear against Trump's political enemies. They want prosecutions of not just Clinton, but also former FBI Director James Comey, former FBI Director Andrew McCabe, former Attorney General Loretta Lynch, FBI agent Peter Strzok, and DOJ lawyer Lisa Page. They want prosecutions for all these people. Just based on a theory. It's just based on a theory. I mean, Andrew McCabe, who was sacked by the FBI, the former deputy director of the FBI, was removed due to a recommendation from the FBI itself that the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, then rubber stamped. That was just based on a theory. There's nothing to see here. This is just a theory. FBI Director James Comey, when he said he leaked memos to his friend and told him to leak those memos to the press, that's just a theory. Monica, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. That's also just theory. That may not have happened. Former Attorney General Loretta Lynch for not prosecuting the Uranium One deal. Also, there was the infamous tarmac meeting. Of course, that's just a theory. Maybe the plane wasn't even there. Maybe it was just a hologram. That was just a theory. The text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, also just theory. You can see where we're going with this, right? The point is there is almost certainly not to generate any actual prosecution so much as it is to muddy the waters in the media. Yes, just a big distraction theory, creating a two-sided battle between his, quote, deep state enemies, rather than the reality that the Trump investigation has been led almost entirely by Republicans and career civil servants. Yes. Yes. That's not a theory, that's fact. That's just a fact. It's a fact that Donald, the whole point of people prosecuting this theory, the Republicans suggesting this theory, is they're just trying to muddy the waters in the media, which of course is just so pro-Trump and is just running with this stuff. That's the other fact. I mean, The media is just running with the prosecution stories because they love Donald Trump so much. All of them, the CNNs, the MSNBCs, they are letting the Republicans muddy the waters around the Trump investigation just to distract you. That's not a theory, that's a fact. Fritz says, Trump is just a distraction from his Russian collusion. Yes, exactly. But it's also an important signpost, this is back to the article again, of where we stand in terms of Trump's relationship to the Congressional Republican Party. On policy issues, Trump has largely adopted Paul Ryan's views. That's interesting. In exchange, mainstream GOP leaders like Mitch McConnell are, quote, shutting down legislation that would stop Trump from firing Robert Mueller, while fringier figures, like the signatories to Trump's letter, are urging him to go further and mount politically motivated persecutions of the opposition party. Just a politically motivated, suggested theory. And all of these people here did absolutely nothing wrong, of course, which is why they were sacked. It's just a theory, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic stuff. I'm looking forward to more of these theories manifesting in the real world. That was...
Now you face the Shredder.
Let's shred that article up. Let's get that piece of trash from Fox nice and shredded up for us. Fantastic.